When I think of a powerful woman, I think of Susan B. Anthony. She was born on a Quaker farm in Adams, Massachusetts, and early on developed a sense of justice and zeal. During the rough times for women, Susan B. Anthony fought for what was right by starting the women's suffrage campaign. She also helped slaves by being an abolitionist and trying to get them freedom. Her impact on the United States of America was huge. I really think she deserves to be on a postage stamp. Susan B. Anthony started the women's suffrage campaign with power and strength. She started the great campaign because one day she was going to do a speech, but the men wouldn't take women in politics seriously unless they had the right to vote. And up to that point, no woman had the right to vote. She started the campaign with Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Although Susan B. Anthony was partnered with Elizabeth, Susan B. Anthony still was the leader of the women's suffrage campaign. Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth did a lot of speeches and made a lot of posters to spread the word that women should have the right to vote. Susan B. Anthony was also working on a book at the same time. Then, one day, in the 1872 presidential election, Susan B. Anthony got arrested for voting for a president. Also, many other women in the suffrage campaign got arrested and had the choice to either pay the fee for breaking the law or they could just go to jail. Many women in the suffrage campaign chose to pay the fee, but Susan B. Anthony chose to go to jail to bring more attention to the cause. After she got out of jail, she published her persuasive book on how women needed to have the rights to vote. Susan B. Anthony was not only a suffragette, but she also was an abolitionist. As an abolitionist, she did a lot of things like arrange meetings, make speeches, put up posters, and distributed leaflets, all for slaves' rights. During this time, it was risky because women didn't have a lot of these rights to do things like this. Since she was a strong and bold woman, she managed to get the job done. She was held a figure in Ohio and made in many other states. People in Ohio and some other states didn't like that she was doing these things because then other people would start to believe that slavery was bad too. One cold night, she helped slaves escape in an underground railroad. She did it at night because it was dark so no one could see what they were doing. Also, she did it during another presidential election because not a lot of people were paying attention to them as they were paying attention to who would become president. At that time, nobody ever figured out that some of the slaves were gone and not doing their work for the person that owned them. Also, Susan B. Anthony would meet with great abolitionists with her family in Rochester, New York. She met up with them in Rochester, New York because her family moved from Massachusetts to New York. Susan B. Anthony helped women and slaves, and it made a huge impact on the United States of America. When she was the women's suffrage leader, she got women the right to vote. That made a difference because now almost half of the population is not missing from politics and the democratic process. Also, now women are able to speak their minds and spread their thoughts about who becomes president. Even though Susan B. Anthony never got to vote, only 14 years after she passed away, women were given this right. She also impacted how people thought about slavery. By helping slaves get their freedom, she helped show how people should be treated. She educated many people and helped them understand that everyone should have a voice and be given equal rights. For all these reasons, I think Susan B. Anthony should be on a postage stamp. She was a fighter for people that had no rights. She used her words instead of her fists like Martin Luther King Jr. She got women the right to vote, got people to think differently about African Americans and slavery, and her impact on the United States of America was gargantuan. This woman was nonstop. Susan B. Anthony used her strength and intelligence to help many people and should be honored for her work by being on a postage stamp.